And to the bottom left now, we have once more our Zerg player in the red color. Starting for Team SCV Live, we have a symbol, TSL symbol. And on screen, he's to the bottom left as well, the picture from the boost that I really love. And to the top right, we have on Daybreak his opponent, able to tie the series. We saw him just win on Daybreak a few moments ago. And this is LG IM Seed. We have to come up with something for LG that fits with the IM.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of... I don't know.
Look guys, I'm Seed. Well, we can probably come up with something better, but that's the first thing that just came to mind.
I was like, well, okay. Alright.
Well, come on, it's gonna work if you go for some kind, like, if at some point we have the player sexy, it will work. Look guys, I'm sexy. That will actually work.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to mention something.
Yeah. No, actually not, but I'm gonna agree with you anyway, Scaldo.
No, man, I'm down. I'm cool with what you said. Alright, but there's something important I want to mention. Most of you probably already know this.
We have something very important.
And I will mention this later as well tonight, but I want to mention that we have 12 teams in the second season of 2012's GSTL. 2 additional teams, 2 foreign teams are being added.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Fnatic is a foreign team in some ways, but has a lot of Korean players, of course, and the same could be said of Liquid, but they're 2 foreign managed teams. It is Liquid and Fnatic, as I just mentioned, and basically all the 10 teams from last season will be there as well, including ZenX, and that's, you know, I guess the only team that people thought might not be in it this season, but they are, in fact, still in it. And basically, with these 2 additional teams, there's going to be a little bit more matches. It's going to go on a little bit longer, and we're going to have basically the same format as we did last season, but a slightly changed because there's 2 additional teams. We're not having the Jupiter and Venus format style that we had in the past. Although, personally, I like that one better, and I hope that one day we can have that one again.
I actually love that GSTL is starting soon again. I love GSTL, the dynamic. We've been talking about this so much that I have the feeling that we start to annoy people with it. But I love it. GSTL is just great. It's really awesome just to see those teams, the decision making when it comes to choosing players, and how sometimes unknown players just step up and take down one opponent after another, especially with the ZenX team. We had that quite often when, for example, ZenX Extreme took down, I think, 3 or 4 of the OGS players.
Yeah.
The Terrans, so very well done.
Very well done indeed.
But well, let's have a quick look at what Symbol and Seed are up to on Daybreak. We have the standard opening for our Protoss. He's starting with his Nexus, starting with a Forge. So this time not relying on the gateway play that we've seen him use on the last map.
We saw him go Gate before Forge, which is a really interesting way to do things. But with that, he will be able to get the Cybernetics core up super quickly. As you can see on the production tab, his gases are already up as well. And, you know, I'm really excited to see... I keep thinking about the past. When I see a player like Seed play, it makes me think back to the old times. And, you know, it's interesting to see that we have Forge Fast Expands almost every single PvZ now, where I remember on Zelnai Caverns, for example, I remember seeing Genius go for a Forge first, and I was like, no, is he going to Forge Fast Expand in StarCraft II? Then he just like cannon rush behind Idra's base, and I was like, oh, okay, alright, I guess he's kind of Forge Fast Expanding, but now it's just, it's so standard, even with the Forge build time being increased at a patch, you know, a long time ago, it's still being used, man. It's like now the norm, the standard, the evolution of maps. All nostalgic thinking about this. You know, our map pool has a lot more evolving to do, but it's moving in the right direction at least.
Yeah, and I love that Blizzard is implementing those maps into the ladder map pool as well, so that you can actually practice on ladder.
Speaking of Blizzard, man, they're implementing a lot of stuff. I heard we're going to have clan support, we're going to have multi-person replay viewing available in Heart of the Swarm.
Let's just be honest about it. I've said that with Heart of the Swarm we will see those changes because Blizzard has to step up their game. We have games like League of Legends that don't cost anything, you get them for free. They have a lot of support, and I think Blizzard has to think about if they just want to change their policies in some ways, especially when it comes down to supporting live streams, tournaments, and esports in general. LoL is, well, it doesn't matter what you think about the game itself, and if you think that it's actually a good esports game, or if you like watching it or not, but Riot does an amazing job with its community.
I would say Riot definitely updates its game very, very frequently and very correctly. And Blizzard is doing the same now. And I mean, I've always been happy with the changes Blizzard has made in the past, but I really like they're stepping it up. I agree. And look at this. This is 4 gates going down to cover a very fast third Nexus. He is basically saying, bring it on, man. I want you to attack me here.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That's something that we usually don't see. And a third base this fast is completely out of the ordinary.
And especially not without at least a fake pressure or anything like that. I mean, he has not shown any of that. And Symbol, in fact, right now, and I don't think he's seen none of it. He's just going to get his first glimpse right now. He's going to be like, oh my god, I just made 10 drones and now I can't pressure him. Should I try now? And it's an awkward position to be in for him.
He's going to take a fourth now.
Yeah, he needs to because it's too late to pressure. The gateways are already powered up. He's got a cannon in play. And his Forge is already researched +1. He's got a Twilight Council on the way to get +2. A great position here for Seed. He took a little bit of a risk, but it's one that's going to pay off quite well for him here. This is a very, very rare build.
You can see that Symbol at this point is not going to get any units. He knows, especially with the third base, that there's no pressure by Seed coming in the next few seconds. So he's just droning up. He will probably take a fairly early fourth base as well. And this is a very unique build by Seed that we haven't seen in the past. We have seen, as Wolf pointed out earlier, the attempt to get a third a little bit earlier by just pushing out with 3 gateways, just trying to at least give the impression that there is going to be a gateway attack and then expand behind it. But this is definitely a different opening by Seed that we've seen so far. And yeah, we talked about how this map is kind of figured out in ZVP, but Protoss players are struggling a bit and they don't want to rely on those 2 base all-ins all the time. So very interesting choice by Seed here, and I like it a lot.
Something very interesting as well from Symbol is he's getting that Ventral Sack upgrade for his Overlords. He's going to potentially be doing some dropship play here. Now, there's several different kinds of dropship play you can do on this map. Roach drops and Zergling drops are quite popular, but as well as we did see him use Banelings quite a bit last game. He may try to go old school and do some Baneling drops, like I mentioned last game, is the way to use Banelings, but I don't think that's the plan here initially, especially because he doesn't have a Baneling S, and it's just not the right part of the game to be talking about that anyways. But
a Roach drop in the main base, that's what he's probably going to do.
I think that's going to be the plan here. He's probably going to try to do it when Seed moves out to attack his potential fourth. That's when he's going to want to go for that counterattack with the Roach drop, and I think that's very, very... it can be very effective, but very situational.
Yeah. These upgrades are the reason why he doesn't get a fourth right now. So he wants to be aggressive nonetheless. The usual response by most players is, okay, my opponent has 3 bases, I need to make sure that I have the better economy, that I am in the better position, and he can't push out now, so just take another base. But he wants to get aggressive nonetheless. Attacking the third would be a mistake. He can put a little pressure on there, but with the drop lay, he suddenly can't just drop on the other end of the gateways or into the main base.
Yeah, he's actually just going to target a gateway down over at the fourth. He's forcing Seed's army out of the way here. And now he's sending his Overlords. Looks like he's going to do a Zergling and Roach drop potentially into the main base while he focuses Seed's attention over here on the right side. So basically he's splitting things up here just a little bit. Zerglings and Roaches are waiting to be dropped potentially. Now it looks like actually he's going to go for everything at once. I'm not sure. I prefer him to go for a 2-pronged attack here because if he loses all of these...
Yeah, but think about it. The Protoss player is completely out of position. He doesn't have an Observer because his tech is so slow, and now he's going to be hit by this attack. He's still trying to figure out where exactly the army of Symbol is. Now the Observer leaves the main base, and he might spot the Overlords now and knows what's happening, but there are a few Zerglings running towards the third, so this is a very tricky situation for Seed, and all these units in the main base now taking down the production buildings. This is actually a huge problem.
That is natural. His pathing of his units was blocked because he only had 1 hex, so like all of his units were stuck there for several seconds. He's actually just going to lose his Nexus. And he's actually going to get out with the majority of his Roaches and Zerglings, which is really interesting. I would have never expected that there would be a rescue mission for this.
Oh
no, he's not.
Bottom right.
He's going to drop on top of these sentries, Kaldor.
Nice. Drops on top of the sentries, takes down the sentries. There's still Zerglings at the third. This is a lot of aggression by Symbol. I love it. And look how much damage he dealt to the expansion. He killed so many probes. He took down 20. And now he might just be able to take down the third base. More roaches.
Yeah, he definitely will.
Exactly. They stream in and they take down the third base. And suddenly we have 1 mining base for Seed.
The army supply right now is not in his favor either. Things just got out of control for him at this point.
He can't reinforce.
No, he can't. He may be able to catch some of these roaches with Blink, but it's too risky for him to blink forward right now. He's going to do it anyways. He's actually feeling a little bit desperate at this point. But Symbol is actually just feeling free to trade because he knows, hey, I've got a lot of bases. You seem to not have that. I think I killed 2 of those if I remember correctly. And Seed, part of the problem for him here was that pathing at the natural I don't think you guys were able to get a shot of, but his units were just funneling.
Guys, the income, we have more than double the income for Symbol right now. Only 800 minerals against 1,900, and the gas is 500 to 220. So this game is basically over.
Yeah,
if not for perfect engagement, at some point, this is over.
He is so out of position. He's trying to catch these overlords. He's just barely going to miss them, and as a result, he's going to be way out of position.
That might have put him back into the game, catching the overlords while the units could not attack, but just look at it. Units at the 3rd base, taking down harvesters, taking down the last few buildings, making sure there's not another base, and in the main base, everything is just dying now to this drop.
Yeah, that is GG, man. This is...
It
was a big risk by someone to go for the drop, but Seed was out of position, and he had to guess where his opponent was. He guessed wrong, man, and that's just it. That's all it comes down to. Now double the supply for Symbol. He's eliminated Seed's production completely. The 3rd Nexus does survive, but I mean, he's content to... He's got 4 hatcheries up, 5 hatcheries, in fact, double macro hatch. He's continuing to get upgrades out. He's going to have +2 for his roaches very soon. And he's got the huge army advantage because he knows his opponent has less units and he has better production. They can continue to attack until Seed dies, or he can take another base. He can do whatever he wants.
The 3rd base is kind of up again, and at this point we have currently the drop in the main, and this is doing so much damage. He still has the overlords around, so he can't just try to drop onto the natural. He can't move down the ramp. This is definitely not possible because of the sentries. He would have been split in half with his army, but well... Seed is still clinging on to this, and the one thing that I'm missing is why is Symbol not expanding again? He has the minerals, and he has...
Well, there it is. Okay, so he is going to do it. I mean, he's got total control over this game. I think he was perhaps going to just try to end it by rallying endless forces and units. Now he's just going to literally drop Zerlings on top of these sentries while his roaches attack at the front. Seed trying to hold out here like he's playing a tower defense game, but unfortunately for him, man, this is the final level, and it's impossible to hold.
Yeah, he lost the cybernetics score, no reinforcing with Stalkers anymore, and, well, Symbol doesn't have to trade cost efficient here, he knows it. He has units at the 3rd too, so the 3rd is being attacked, and the natural, here they are, Lings and Roaches, they take down the Zealots, and then the probes will fall. 59 supply, yeah, GG! Well played by Symbol. I'm impressed here. I really like what he did.
I like it, man. It's creative. It's something that we have seen before, but it's something that we very rarely see.
On Antigua. Antigua is a map where we've seen it occasionally, but he just saw no scouting. He doesn't have an observer out, so he can't pull this off. Very interesting.
Great reactionary build there by Symbol. We're going to take a 5-minute break before we have Alive, who's completely changed his hairstyle and his glasses, up against StarTale Hacks. We'll see you guys in a few.